Have you ever heard the famous Punjabi saying that goes something like, even the wish after 12-year-old of Rudi is fulfilled? Most people think this saying is about cow dung because in Punjabi language, Rudi can also refer to decomposed cow dung. But what if I told you that this is not the real meaning at all? Very few people know the true story behind this famous saying. The real story is connected to Guru Nanak Dev Ji, the first Sikh Guru. And believe me, this story is so emotional, so surprising, and so powerful that by the end of this video, you will understand why this saying has been remembered for centuries. So, watch till the end because the ending will leave you amazed. Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel Sikhism Official. Without wasting any time, now let's begin this beautiful story. This incident took place during one of the Guru Nanak Dev Ji's travel in an Arab country. There lived a woman whose name was Rudi. Yes, Rudi was actually the name of a woman. This is where the misunderstanding began. Since decomposed cow dung is also called Rudi in Punjabi, many people later assumed that the famous saying referred to cow dung, but that is not true. The saying originally refers to this woman named Rudi, whose faith in Waheguru became an example for generations. The real meaning of the saying is that God fulfills even a prayer that has waited for 12 years if the faith behind that prayer is true. Rudi lived happily with her husband and her only son. She was a deeply religious woman and had complete faith in Waheguru. As time passed, her son grew up and she arranged his marriage. Finally, the wedding day arrived. Their relatives gathered at the house to celebrate. In those days, it was common for only the men to travel with the wedding party, while most women stayed back at home. The bride lived in a village that is on a small island in the middle of the sea. So the groom, his father, and all his relatives had to travel there by boat. Before the wedding party left, Rudi went to the local place of worship. Standing before God with folding hands, she prayed from the bottom of her heart. She said, "O God, today I place this marriage in your care. They must cross the sea, and only you can protect them. From this moment, I leave my husband, my son, and all my relatives in your hands. You are responsible for bringing them home safely." After offering this heartfelt prayer, she returned home. The wedding party left on the boat. They safely reached the island. The marriage was completed with great joy. Everything seemed perfect. The very next day, the groom, his new bride, his father, and all the relatives began their journey back home. Rudi stood on the seashore, eagerly waiting to welcome her son and his new bride. She could already see the boat approaching, but then something terrible happened. Suddenly, the boat lost its balance. Within moments, it overturned and sank into the sea, right before Rudi's eyes. She watched helplessly. Her husband, her son, the newly married bride, and every relative on that boat drowned. In just a few moments, her entire world was destroyed. Heartbroken and crying, Rudi ran straight to the place where she had prayed before the wedding. She stood before God and said, "I trust you. Before they left, I placed them in your care. I made you responsible for their safety. Now give me my family back." From that very day, she made a promise. Every single day, without missing even one day, she would come and repeat the same prayer. No matter whether she was sick, no matter how difficult life became, she never missed a single day. Days turned into weeks, weeks became months, months became years. People started laughing at her. Some said she had lost her mind. Others called her mad. Many told her to accept reality and move on. But Rudi never listened. Her faith never became weaker. Even after 12 long years, she continued praying every single day with exactly the same faith she had on the first day. After 12 years, Guru Nanak Dev Ji arrived in that region during his travels. People became excited. They said, "A great saint has come." Some even say he is the embodiment of God himself. Hearing this, Rudi immediately went to meet Guru Nanak Dev Ji. She asked, "Are you Guru Nanak?" Then Bhai Nana Ji replied, "Yes." Then Rudi looked at Guru Nanak Dev Ji and said, "People say you are God's own form. Then return my son to me. Before his wedding, I trusted you. I prayed for his protection. You did not protect him. Now give me my son and my family back." Guru Nanak looks into her heart. Guru Nanak Dev Ji listened patiently. 12 years had already passed since the accident. But Guru Nanak Dev Ji did not look at the situation. Guru Nanak looked into Rudi's heart. He saw a faith that had never broken. Turning to Bhai Mardana Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, "It is true that her family drowned 12 years ago, but her faith has remained alive every single day. She never doubted Waheguru. She never stopped praying. She never cared what people said about her. Such unwavering faith cannot go unanswered." Then Guru Nanak Dev Ji said to Rudi, "Come to the seashore this evening, the same place where the boat sank." Rudi was filled with hope. She ran through the village and telling everyone, "Today my son is coming home." Some people came only out of curiosity. Others came to witness what would happen. As evening arrived, Guru Nanak Dev Ji also reached the seashore. He asked everyone to look towards the sea. They looked, but at first nothing will happen. Then suddenly the water began to move. To everyone's amazement, the very same boat that had sunk 12 years earlier slowly rose to the surface. The villagers stood frozen in shock. Even more unbelievable, everyone on the boat was alive. Her husband, her son, the bride, every relative, and amazingly, they had not aged even a single day. They looked exactly as they had 12 years earlier. When the boat reached the shore, Rudi embraced her family with tears of joy. She thanked Waheguru and bowed before Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Her son and the others were completely confused. For them, it felt as though only a few moments had passed. They had no idea that 12 years had gone by. When Rudi told them everything, they were overwhelmed. Together they thanked Waheguru and offered their deepest respect to Guru Nanak Dev Ji. From this incident, the famous Punjabi saying became known among people. Its real meaning is not about cow dung. It's about Rudi, the woman whose unwavering faith never faded even after 12 long years. The saying teaches us that Waheguru never ignores sincere faith. Sometimes answers come immediately, sometimes they take years, but true faith is never wasted. This beautiful story reminds us that nothing is impossible for Waheguru. When faith is genuine, when patience is complete, and when devotion never breaks, God can make even the impossible become possible. Sikh history is filled with such inspiring stories, and I will continue sharing them with you in the coming videos. If you enjoyed this beautiful story and learned something new today, please support the channel by liking this video, sharing it with others, and subscribing to my channel. Also let me know in the comments, had you ever heard the real meaning behind this famous Punjabi saying before today? Thank you so much for watching. See you in next video.